Imagine closing your eyes and seeing a radiant light, a divine presence that feels both vast and intimately yours. Now, picture yourself moving, chanting, becoming that light in every gesture. Which path brings you closer to the divine? Vision or action? Welcome to a journey into the heart of Buddhist practice, where the mind's vision and the body's dance intertwine in the sacred art of dual cultivation. If you are new to Buddhism, you might wonder, how can something as simple as imagining a deity or making a ritual gesture transform your life? Today, we'll unravel the mystery of visualization and embodiment, why one captivates millions, and how both can awaken your inner potential. Get ready for insights that will spark curiosity and inspire you to see the world anew. Stay with us until the end to discover a practice so accessible it could change your daily life. And when you're done, share your thoughts in the comments. What does awakening mean to you? Let's dive in. The spark of vision. In the soft glow of dawn, where the first rays of sunlight kiss the dew-laden petals of a lotus, there lies a question that hums in the hearts of those who tread the path of awakening. How does one touch the boundless while still bound to the fleeting? The air feels charged with possibility, doesn't it? That tingling anticipation, that spark of curiosity. It's the mind's quiet yearning to unravel the mysteries of existence. Let us step into this sacred inquiry, not as mere observers, but as seekers whose every breath aligns with the rhythm of truth. Imagine, for a moment, a path where the seen and unseen dance together, where the mind's vision and the body's action weave a tapestry of liberation. This is the essence of the dual practice, the sacred interplay of visualization and tangible embodiment, known in the profound traditions of Buddhism as the twin pillars of spiritual ascent. Picture yourself seated in a quiet grove, the scent of sandalwood faint in the air, your mind settling like a leaf on a still pond. Here, in this moment, the practice of visualization, known as the seal of wisdom, beckons. It is not merely an exercise of imagination, but a gateway to the infinite. Through visualization, you summon the radiant form of a deity, perhaps the serene visage of Avalokiteshvara, whose 1,000 arms reach out in boundless compassion. Each detail, the glistening jewels, the soft curve of a smile, the aura of light, emerges in your mind's eye with vivid clarity. Why does this practice pulse with such allure? Because it stirs something deep within, a dopamine-fueled rush of connection to the divine. The mind, ever restless, finds joy in crafting this sacred image, and with each moment of focus, it feels as though the universe itself is whispering back, affirming your place within its vastness. But pause for a moment. Can you feel the pull to know more? That gentle tug, like a river current urging you onward? Let's follow it. Visualization is not a solitary act. It is a bridge to the ultimate reality. When you visualize, you are not merely imagining. You are aligning your consciousness with the essence of enlightenment itself. The deity you conjure is not separate from you. It is the mirror of your own awakened nature. This is why the seal of wisdom holds such sway in the hearts of practitioners. It requires no external tools, no elaborate rituals, only the mind, pure and focused, dancing with the infinite. And yet, there's a secret here, one that makes your heart race with curiosity. This practice is accessible to all. Whether you sit in a Himalayan cave or a bustling city apartment, the mind's canvas is always ready, waiting for you to paint it with the colors of awakening. Now, let's shift the scene, as if turning a page in a sacred text. Imagine a temple aglow with butter lamps, their flickering flames casting shadows that seem to pulse with life. Here, another practice unfolds, the seal of activity, the tangible embodiment of the divine. This is not the ethereal dance of the mind, but the grounded, visceral act of becoming the deity in form. Picture a practitioner, let's call her Ananda, adorned in ritual garments, her hands tracing the precise mudras of a deity, her voice chanting mantras that resonate like thunder in the soul. Each movement, each syllable is an offering, a physical manifestation of the divine qualities she seeks to embody. The seal of activity is a celebration of the body as a sacred vessel, a living altar where the mundane and the divine converge. Can you sense the electricity in this? The way the heart quickens when the body moves in harmony with the cosmos? But why, you might wonder, does visualization often eclipse this embodied practice in the hearts of so many? The answer lies in the subtle alchemy of the human experience. Visualization is like a river, fluid, adaptable, flowing effortlessly around the obstacles of daily life. It requires no external space, no costly implements, only the willingness to close your eyes and see. The seal of activity, while profound, demands more. A physical space, ritual tools, and often a teacher to guide the intricate steps. For Ananda, the temple is her sanctuary. But for others, perhaps a merchant in a bustling market or a mother tending to her children, the demands of daily life make such practices feel like distant stars, beautiful but out of reach. And yet, there's a spark here, isn't there? A question that lingers like incense in the air. Could there be a way to blend these paths to bring the tangible into the mind's vision? Let's linger on this thought, letting it simmer like a pot of tea over a gentle flame. Visualization captivates because it is immediate, intimate, and infinitely portable. It's the practice you carry in your pocket, ready to unfold in a moment of quiet amidst the chaos of life. When you visualize, you are not bound by the constraints of time or place. You are free to soar. And oh, how the mind loves to soar. Each time you conjure the radiant form of a deity, your brain lights up, rewarding you with a surge of joy, a dopamine-driven affirmation that you are touching something sacred. This is no accident. It is the mind's way of saying, keep going, you're on the right path. The seal of wisdom is a practice that meets you where you are, whether you're a monk in a monastery, or a student stealing a moment of peace between classes. But don't turn away yet. There's more to uncover, a deeper layer waiting to be explored. Consider the interplay of these two practices, like two streams converging into a mighty river. The seal of activity, with its physicality, grounds the practitioner in the here and now, reminding us that the divine is not only in the mind, but in the very bones of our existence. Ananda, as she moves through her ritual, feels the weight of her robes, the warmth of the lamp's flame, the vibration of her chant in her chest. These sensations anchor her, making the divine not just an idea, but a lived reality. Yet, this path requires discipline, resources, and time, luxuries not all can afford. Visualization, on the other hand, is a gift to the everyman. A practice that says, you are enough just as you are. It's no wonder, then, that it has become the beating heart of so many Buddhist traditions, a flame that burns bright in the minds of countless seekers. And yet, as we stand at this crossroads, a new question emerges, one that tugs at the edges of your curiosity like a child pulling at a sleeve. What if these two practices are not separate, but intertwined? Two sides of the same sacred coin. Visualization plants the seed of awakening in the mind, while embodied practice nurtures it into bloom. Together, they form a dance of balance, mind and body, ethereal and tangible, wisdom and action. The allure of visualization lies in its accessibility, its ability to spark joy and connection without requiring a single step beyond the mind's own borders. But the seal of activity offers something equally profound, the chance to feel the divine in your very flesh, to move through the world as a living embodiment of compassion, wisdom, and strength. Can you feel the pulse of this idea, the way it quickens your breath? It's as if the universe itself is inviting you to keep exploring, to dive deeper into this sacred dance. Visualization may be the more traveled path, but it is not the only one. For those who can weave both practices together, the journey becomes a symphony, each note building on the last until the heart sings with the realization that the divine is not distant, but here, now, in every thought, every movement, every breath. And so, as the sun rises higher in our imagined grove, let us pause, letting this truth settle like dust motes in a beam of light. The path is open, the journey is yours. Will you take the next step, the dance of being? The air grows warmer now, as if the sun itself has leaned closer, its golden light filtering through the leaves of our imagined grove, casting patterns that dance like fleeting mantras on the earth. Can you feel it? That subtle shift, that pull to linger just a little longer. The question of visualization and embodiment, of mind and matter, hums in the space between breaths, urging us to dive deeper. It's not enough to simply know these paths exist. There's a spark within, a quiet thrill that begs us to explore how they intertwine, how they call to one another like lovers across a vast plain. Let's step forward then, not with haste, but with the steady rhythm of a heart attuned to truth, as we trace the delicate threads that bind the seal of wisdom to the seal of activity, each amplifying the other in a dance that feels alive, electric, almost irresistible. Imagine Ananda once more, her presence vivid as she moves through the temple, her fingers tracing the mudras of a deity with a precision that feels like poetry in motion. Each gesture is deliberate, a silent vow to embody the qualities of compassion, wisdom, and strength. The seal of activity is no mere ritual. It is a declaration that the divine is not confined to the heavens but walks among us, in us, through us. The rustle of her robes, the cadence of her chant, the weight of a ritual bell in her hand. These are not distractions but anchors, grounding her in the present moment. And yet, there's a secret here, one that makes your pulse quicken. Even as she moves, her mind is alive with visualization. She sees the deity within her, radiant and boundless, her inner vision merging with her outer actions until the boundary between self and divine begins to blur. Can you sense the power in this? The way it stirs something deep, like a memory you didn't know you carried. Let's pause here, letting that thought ripple like a stone dropped in a still pond. The seal of activity is a practice of embodiment, but it is not separate from the mind's vision. It is visualization made manifest, the inner deity stepping into the world through the vessel of the body. This is why the practice feels so alive, so charged with meaning. When Ananda chants, her voice is not just sound. It is the vibration of the universe itself, resonating with the same energy that pulses through the stars. When she moves, her steps are not just motion. They are a dance that mirrors the cosmic order. And oh, how the heart leaps at this. The dopamine surge that comes with visualization finds a partner in the physicality of action, each feeding the other in a cycle that feels like joy, like coming home. But let's turn the lens slightly, as if adjusting a telescope to bring a distant star into focus. Why does visualization remain the more traveled path? The one that calls to so many, from the ascetic in the mountains to the student in the city. The answer lies in its simplicity, its immediacy, its ability to meet you exactly where you are. Picture a young man, let's call him Tenzin, sitting cross-legged in a small room, the hum of a distant city filtering through his window. He has no temple, no ritual tools, only the quiet of his own mind. Yet, as he closes his eyes, he summons the image of Tara, her emerald light filling his heart. In that moment, he is not bound by his circumstances. He is free, connected to the infinite. Visualization is the great equalizer, a practice that requires nothing but intention and focus. And here's the magic that keeps you reading, that makes your heart race just a little. Each time Tenzin visualizes, his mind lights up, rewarding him with a burst of clarity, a chemical affirmation that he is touching the divine. Now, let's weave these threads together, as if braiding a cord that binds the seen and unseen. Visualization is the spark, the initial flame that ignites the path of awakening. It is accessible, portable, a practice that fits into the crevices of a busy life. But the seal of activity takes that flame and builds it into a fire, one that warms the body and soul. For those like Ananda, who have the space and means to practice, the physicality of ritual becomes a way to ground the ethereal, to make the divine tangible. The mudras, the chants, the offerings, they are not mere actions but gateways, portals through which the practitioner steps into the presence of the deity. And yet, the beauty of this path lies in its interdependence with visualization. Without the mind's vision, the actions are hollow. Without the body's engagement, the vision can remain distant, a beautiful dream that never quite takes root. Can you feel the pull to keep going, the way these ideas beckon like a path winding through a forest? There's a rhythm here, a pulse that mirrors the heartbeat of the universe. Visualization captivates because it is immediate, a direct line to the divine that requires no intermediary. It's the practice that says, "You are enough right now as you are." But the seal of activity adds depth, a richness that comes from engaging the whole self, mind, body, and spirit, in the act of awakening. For Ananda, the temple is her canvas, her movements the brushstrokes that paint the divine into being. For Tenzin, the mind is his temple, his visualizations the offerings he lays at the altar of truth. Both paths lead to the same destination, but their flavors are distinct, each offering a unique joy, a unique rush of connection that keeps the practitioner coming back, unable to step away. And here's where the story deepens, where the air grows thick with possibility. What if the true power of these practices lies not in choosing one over the other, but in their harmony? Imagine Tenzin, inspired by his visualizations, beginning to incorporate simple gestures into his practice. A raised hand in the mudra of fearlessness, a softly chanted mantra. Suddenly, his inner vision takes on a new weight, a new reality, as if the deity he sees in his mind has stepped into the room. Or picture Ananda in the midst of her ritual, pausing to close her eyes and deepen her visualization, letting the deity's radiance fill her until her every movement feels like an extension of that light. This is the alchemy of the dual practice, the way visualization and embodiment feed each other, creating a cycle of transformation that is as addictive as it is profound. Let's linger here, letting this idea sink in like rain into parched earth. The seal of wisdom is the gateway, the spark that lights the way. The seal of activity is the path, the steady steps that make the journey real. Together, they form a spiral, each turn drawing the practitioner closer to the heart of awakening. Visualization is more popular because it is the low-hanging fruit, the practice that anyone, anywhere, can pick up and taste. But for those who can weave it with the seal of activity, the result is a feast, a banquet of the soul that leaves you hungry for more. And isn't that what keeps you here, reading these words, feeling the pulse of this truth? The promise of something greater, something that resonates with the deepest parts of you, urging you to stay, to see where this path leads next. The union of light and form. As the sun dips lower, painting the sky with hues of amber and rose, the grove we've imagined seems to hum with a quiet energy, as if the very air is alive with the whispers of ancient truths. Can you feel it? That gentle tug, that almost magnetic pull to stay, to delve deeper into this sacred dance of mind and body. The question of visualization and embodiment, of the seal of wisdom and the seal of activity, is not just a concept. It's a living current, flowing through every thought, every breath, urging us to explore its final unfolding. Let's step into this moment then, with the curiosity of a child and the resolve of a sage, as we weave the threads of these practices into a tapestry that shimmers with possibility, each stitch pulling us closer to the heart of awakening. The dopamine hums softly now, a steady rhythm that keeps you here, unable to turn away, as we uncover the final layers of this profound interplay. Picture Ananda once more, standing in her temple as twilight settles, the butter lamps casting a golden glow that seems to pulse in time with her heartbeat. Her hands move through the mudras of the deity, each gesture a prayer, each chant a bridge between the finite and the infinite. But now, something shifts. Her eyes close, and within the theater of her mind, the deity takes form, radiant and vast, its light spilling beyond the boundaries of her imagination. This is no mere ritual. It is a union, a moment where the seal of activity and the seal of wisdom merge into a single, breathtaking truth. Ananda is not just performing the deity's actions. She is the deity, her every movement an expression of boundless compassion, her every thought a reflection of ultimate wisdom. Can you sense the electricity in this? The way it lights up your mind, sparking a rush that makes you want to lean closer, to understand how such a moment is possible. Let's follow this spark, letting it guide us like a lantern through the dusk. The seal of activity, with its tangible forms, mudras, chants, offerings, grounds the practitioner in the physical world, making the divine a lived experience. But it is the seal of wisdom, the practice of visualization, that gives these actions their depth, their meaning. Without visualization, the rituals are mere motions, beautiful but empty. Without embodiment, the visualizations are fleeting dreams, vivid but untethered. Together they create a synergy, a dance where each step amplifies the other, like a melody and harmony weaving through a song. And here's the secret that keeps your heart racing, that makes you read on. This synergy is not reserved for the enlightened few. It is a path open to all, a journey that begins with a single moment of focus, a single breath of intention. Now, let's shift our gaze to Tenzin, our young seeker in the city. His small room, a sanctuary of stillness amidst the urban hum. He sits, eyes closed, conjuring the image of Tara, her emerald light filling his mind like a tide. But tonight, inspired by a whisper of intuition, he does something new. He raises his hand, fingers forming the mudra of giving, and softly chants her mantra, the sound vibrating in his chest. Suddenly, the visualization is no longer just a picture. It is alive, pulsing through his body, his voice, his very being. The seal of wisdom has found a partner in the seal of activity, and in this moment, Tenzin feels a joy so profound, it's as if the universe itself is singing through him. This is the magic of the dual practice, the way it transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, the mundane into the sacred. Can you feel the pull of this idea, the way it beckons you to imagine yourself in Tenzin's place? Let's pause here, letting this truth settle like a lotus on the surface of a pond. Visualization is the flame that lights the path, accessible to all, requiring only the mind's willingness to see. It is the practice that has captured the hearts of countless seekers because it is immediate, intimate, a direct line to the divine. Each time you visualize, your mind rewards you with a burst of clarity, a dopamine-driven affirmation that you are touching something greater. But the seal of activity takes this flame and builds it into a fire, one that warms the body and soul. It is the practice that says, the divine is not just within you, it is you, in every gesture, every sound, every step. For those like Ananda, who have the space and resources to fully embody the ritual, this practice is a revelation, a way to make the divine tangible. For those like Tenzin, who weave small acts of embodiment into their visualizations, it is a bridge, a way to bring the infinite into the everyday. And now, as the twilight deepens, let's ask the question that hums beneath it all. Why does visualization remain the more beloved path, the one that draws so many to its embrace? The answer lies in its universality, its ability to transcend the barriers of time, place, and circumstance. Visualization requires no temple, no robes, no ritual tools, only the mind, open and ready. It is the practice that meets you in the chaos of a crowded bus, in the quiet of a sleepless night, in the fleeting moments between tasks. It is the spark that anyone can kindle, anywhere, anytime. And yet, there's a deeper truth here, one that makes your heart beat faster. Visualization is not the end, but the beginning. It is the seed that, when nurtured by the seal of activity, grows into a tree of awakening, its branches reaching into every aspect of life. Let's weave these threads into a final, shimmering whole. Imagine a world where every seeker, whether in a temple or a tenement, finds their own balance of these practices. Ananda, in her temple, moves through her rituals with a mind ablaze with visualization, each gesture a reflection of the deity within. Tenzin, in his room, visualizes with such clarity that his simple mudras become a dance of the divine. Both are on the same path, their practices converging like rivers into the sea of awakening. The seal of wisdom is the light that guides, the seal of activity the ground that supports. Together they form a cycle, a spiral that draws you upward, each turn more exhilarating than the last. And isn't this why you're still here, reading these words, feeling the pulse of this truth? Because it resonates, because it calls to something deep within, something that yearns to be both seen and embodied. As the stars begin to emerge in our imagined sky, let this truth settle in your heart. The dual practice is not a choice between mind and body, vision and action, but a celebration of their unity. Visualization is the gateway, the practice that is spread far and wide because it is the key that unlocks the door for all. Embodiment is the path beyond, the way to make that vision real, to live it in every moment. Together they are a song, a dance, a journey that never ends, each step a burst of joy, each breath a step closer to the infinite. And so, as the growth fades and the world returns, carry this with you. The divine is not distant, not separate, but here, now, in the interplay of your thoughts and actions, waiting for you to see, to move, to become.